We're going to start talking about her straight away, as she's doing some magnificent flying at the moment. This, everybody, is Victoria, and Victoria is an African fish eagle, which, in all honesty, is a commentator's dream. Everything you need to know about this species is in the name. She's an eagle, she comes from Africa, and she eats fish. There we go. And we absolutely love the trust. We're going to see if we can put her through her paces. So, she's got up there to that tree, which is one of her favourite places. That pigeon has got the right idea. No, it hasn't actually. Okay, well done, well done. And we are going to show off this fishing ability that this species is so well known for. So, in a few moments, keep your eyes on the eagle. She's turned around, she's in the prime position. Cedric's going to pop a piece of food into the pond, and let's see if she can catch it. So the eagle's on her way, the food's in the pond. Can she get it? Absolutely. Very well done. And a round of applause as well. You're a good lot. Out the ready. Once again, a piece of food is going to go into the pond in a few moments. Here it goes. Can we make it 2 for 2? We can indeed. Well done, Vicky. Now, some of you may have noticed that it's not actually a real fish we're putting into the pond, and that is for very good reason. Vicky absolutely loves fish. When she gets back to her aviary, that's when she gets to imagine. So now we use a piece of boneless chicken, which, as you can see, she can eat in pretty much no time at all. So, I think we'll go for a third and final one, if you're happy, Cedric. So last chance for all the photographers out there. Once again, a piece of food is going to go into the pond. As it goes, can we make it 3 for 3? We can, look at that. Very nicely done. So they can catch bird life, ranging from things to the size of, pigeons and those sorts of things, all the way up to flamingos, believe it or not. But this last part here of Victoria's routine is by far the most difficult, because she is an incredibly sensitive. Strolling through the tall grasses up there at the top of the arena is Angola, and Angola is a secretary bird, which is an incredibly unique species of bird of prey. There is actually nothing else like them at all in the bird of prey world. He's not related to eagles, vultures, hawks. He's actually not even related to like herons or storks. And you can see why they'd sometimes get confused with those, because of the very long legs that they have. They used to be known as the long-legged marching eagle, but these days we know them as the secretary bird, and it's because of their appearance. They look like an olden days secretary. They've got the quills on the back of their heads, got a bit of a waistcoat going on with the long trousers as well. He certainly is looking incredibly dapper today. It's our Angola. And what you saw from him at the start of his routine there, running through the tall grasses, is the exact way you'd usually expect to see a secretary bird. They are, of course, very tall. They just wander through the tall grasses looking out for any potential prey. Now, it is also worth noting, those of you on the back rows, you are absolutely fine to stand up for this bird, because if he takes off and flies out your way, usually something's gone quite horrifically wrong by then, so you are free to stand up if you do want to do so. Now, they can fly mammals, occasionally small reptiles as well. It's not particularly exciting stuff that they're going after. But there is a very small part of their diet, and we're only talking about 1% or so here, of their diet, which certainly is quite exciting. And that's reflected in their scientific name, which is Sagittarius serpentarius, which very loosely translates to the archer of snakes. It is quite comical, dare I say it. So, watch what happens here. He's going to kick that snake square in the head. Look at that. And like I said, it is quite comical to watch, but this, for Angola, is deadly serious work. We've actually never taught him how to do this. It's what's known as an innate behaviour. So very simply, the first time we ever brought a snake out in front of him, he just started kicking it. It's hardwired from the day he hatched, pretty much, to kick snakes in the head. It's what they are known to do. So what he's doing is he's driving in his rear stubby talon, which is called a hallux, into the head of that snake. He's off. I told you, they do fly. He's driving in that talon, which is called a hallux, as I said, into the head of that snake. Hopefully for Angola, that will be delivering a fatal blow each and every time, because he's actually got no antivenom in his bloodstream. And so, incredibly powerful indeed. I'm going to show you off what happens if he comes up against a rearing cobra. He kicks it out from the sky pretty much and knocks it to the ground where he can do the rest of the work. And the last little things as well, especially as he's facing away from a lot of us there, you can see he's got those very long tail feathers. Well, they dangle down, so they have no blood supply as well. So if anywhere on him is going to get bitten by a snake, it's hopefully going to be in those feathers there. Because they have no blood supply, it's going to be absolutely fine to live to survive another day. Now, we have a name here for this snake. If it's not already obvious, it's not a real one. It is a fake one from Amazon, effectively. And he goes by the name of Stuntman Steve, and we're going to pop Stuntman Steve away for the day, and we're going to send one man and his secretary bird wandering back. We have been joined by our first vulture species of the day, and he is doing exactly what you'd expect any vulture to do, which is find the nearest dead thing, which in this case is that buffalo carcass up there, and investigate said dead thing. So if there's anything there that you can have as a snack. I should have also warned you, this is the lowest flying bird of this demonstration, so please do get ready to duck. Now, whenever we talk about vultures, we usually kind of get the same response. Well, I did warn you. I do get the same response, which is usually people aren't particularly big fans of them. And I think one of the main reasons why people aren't too keen on vultures is because of their appearance. They aren't the prettiest birds out there. Of course, I absolutely love vultures, but both the birds we've met already today are significantly prettier, at least in my opinion, than a vulture. But you have to think about the job which vultures do. They're the dustbin men and women of the natural world. Their very best day as a vulture would be if his head is up the wrong side of a slightly rotten zebra. If that was your day job, you don't really want to be having gorgeous white flowing feathers of a barn owl, for example, because very quickly those feathers are going to end up turning kind of red and green and brown and other disgusting, horrible colours. So, because of that reason, vultures have chosen to go for like Fagin here circling around above you. But then you also will get the larger ones coming in as well, because the smaller vultures, they attract in those larger vultures, because they can use Windsor is a white-backed vulture. And as you can see, they're pretty much side by side there. He is significantly bigger. Look at that for an entrance flight. Significantly bigger than Fagin. And just imagine having hundreds of them now circling around above you. You can see why it gives the game away and why the poachers aren't particularly big fans of these vultures. So what they do is devastating. Once they've done with their carcass, once they've got everything they want to have off of that carcass, they just simply lace poison all over it. Because of the fact that vultures are very gregarious, you find hundreds of them all together, it means you're unfortunately also getting hundreds of vultures dying at each one of these carcasses. And sometimes it gets even worse than that. They know that these vultures can be circling around and attracting attention, so what they might do is before they kill their elephant or something like that, they might just go and kill something else less significant, like an impala or something like that. And they will do that a few hundred metres or so away, and they'll lace that with poison instead. So by the time they're actually done with all of their main killing work with the elephant, which is bad enough as it is, those vultures are already dead. So they're absolutely horrible, really, and it has led to a quite catastrophic decline in the vulture populations. So the white-backed vulture we've got up here is again also critically endangered, along with the hooded vulture. Both of these species have seen nearly 90% declines in their population in just the last few decades alone. So really quite significant declines that have been going on up here. And I don't want to make it all doom and gloom. And so you guys being here today, paying for your entrance fee, paying for anything in the gift shop, in the restaurant, and like that, all of that money goes towards the work that we do with vultures like Windsor out there in Africa, and also here at the Trust as well. So we do a few different things to help out these birds. The first one that we had was something called poison response kits, and they have got all the tools and equipment that you need, basically just to get rid of that carcass. Unfortunately, often there's not a lot you can do if they've already been poisoned, but if you can recognise the signs, you can see the vulture circling above, you can get there quick enough to get rid of that carcass. So that's burying it or burning it, whatever it's going to be, just to get it out of the environment. So that's the first thing, and they get put to the test quite regularly. Even just a few months ago, actually, there was quite a nasty poisoning event out there in Kruger National Park, actually, where 200 vultures were affected. But usually, when we say 200 vultures were affected, that means 200 vultures died. But in this case, 80 were able to be saved, which ideally, of course, we want 200 to be saved, but it certainly is a very good step in the right direction and shows that these kits are actually working, which will be coming down, actually opening up the carcass. As Wendy's got really close to you, you probably noticed he's got an enormous beak. It's effectively a bolt propper he's got on the front of him, and this allows him to open up the carcasses, and it's the little hooded vultures coming in last, but they're very...
subspecies. Well, what's that? Ibis?
Is that in the show?
Yeah, it's not a bird of prey though. Yeah, like the show.
In the show?
Yeah, it's not wild.
Ladies and gentlemen, those were Wings of Africa. Thank you all very much for watching. Now there is quite a bit going on, so I'm going to introduce you to the different birds we have out of the course of that finale. The first ones I actually want to draw your attention to are these two white storks, and look at this one coming into land just here. Landing gear come down, look at that. Look at that. So this, everybody, is Brandy, who's one of our white storks. So I'll talk more about them a little bit later on. I just wanted to show off that because it is so cool. We might also get Daisy coming into land here in just a few moments. But the first team of birds to come out and join us were the team of yellow-billed kites. Oh, there's one of them. So the team of kites, what they went straight to is the bushfire off the top of the ground. So they were trying to catch effectively insects that we are throwing up to simulate what would be happening out there in the wild. So they went straight to that bushfire, kind of as I was talking about. And most birds of prey can catch food in midair. What's very cool about the kites, they can actually catch and eat food in midair. And you may well have seen that as they were as we're throwing bits of food up for them. I think they're going for the insects which are feeding around the carcass. So again, a very important role they have to play. The glossy eye